What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and today I'm going to be interviewing, Bruce Shu Shu Carrington. This is a featherweight from Brownsville, Brooklyn. Uh, Brooklyn's my hometown. I'm not from Brownsville though, but Brownsville is definitely a legendary neighborhood when it comes to boxing. They've produced guys like Daniel Jacobs, Mike Tyson, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Zab Judah, uh, Curtis Stevens, Bruce Shu Shu Carrington, who I'm about to interview. They've produced a lot of fighters throughout the history of boxing. So he's definitely comes from a legendary neighborhood. He's signed to Top Rank. He's somebody who Top Rank has been keeping him active, moving him around, giving him good fights. And I like the way they've been moving his career. I'm looking forward to interviewing him. I he may be a little late, but you know how this be, man. People always a little late when this. I was a little late coming on, to be honest with you. Yo, Big Fish Vega, shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you. By the way, Big Fish, Oscar Collazo hit me up. I might have to hit him up for an interview. Oscar Collazo hit me up telling me that he wants to fight Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa, and he hit me up on Twitter. So we'll see if I get him on the show and see if he could talk his shit and possibly, you know, get that fight going after my man Mini Pac-Man gets his super championship, because right now he's currently in negotiations with actually when I interview Mini Pac-Man, he told me that everything is agreed upon. Everything is agreed upon, but it's just a matter of, with the exception of where the fight's going to take place. But it's looking like it's going to take place either in the Dominican Republic or United States, most likely in the Dominican Republic. Big Fish, he's like, finally a real fighter interview. You bugging, bro? You bugging? Your man don't even got a title. What are you talking about? Tell your man to get a title first for you to be talking like that. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this interview. I'm a fan of Bruce Shu Shu Carrington. He's a very like, he conducts himself real good. Like, you could tell he comes from a good family. You could tell he has his head screwed on right. And that's something that us New Yorkers, especially the boxers, we got a bad reputation from, Zab Judah getting into fights in Miami, and Hector Camacho doing coke and going crazy and getting arrested. Mike Tyson getting arrested a bunch of times and biting the guy's ear off, and Riddick Bowe getting into brawls. Like, with New York fighters, we got a bad reputation. But Shu Shu Carrington, the way he conducts himself, he's not the typical New York fighter in terms of attitude or how he conducts himself, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for you guys to see that side of him. Shu Shu is Dominican? No, Shu Shu is not Dominican. I don't just interview Dominicans. I've interviewed Blair Cobbs, Tevin Farmer, Michael Fox, Herbert Conceição. I've interviewed quite a few non-Dominicans, although mostly my content is about Dominicans. So I can understand why you got confused, but no, Shu Shu is not Dominican, at least not to my knowledge. But no, I know he's not. Matter of fact, I know he's not. But yeah, Shu Shu seems very mature. Good team behind him. I actually agree. He's very mature. He's smart. He's very careful with his words. Uh, again, he just doesn't strike me as that, like, typical New York boxer that is gonna get in trouble. Like, look what happened with Marcus Brown. And I'm not trying to talk about nobody's personal situation, but he got locked up a few times. I'm not gonna talk about the case. You guys could look that up yourself. But he's from New York. It's just like New York fighters, we have a bad reputation. And I can, the guys tell you, I've never met the guy, and I'm about to interview him. Just based off how he conducts himself, I can tell he's not going to be one of those guys that seems to to embarrass us or to make us look bad or to be like, damn, he had so much potential, but he didn't fulfill it. Yeah, no, that's a good example. That's a good. He says Danny Jacobs 2.0. He reminds me a lot of Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is also from Brownsville, Brooklyn, ironically. But yeah, he reminds me a lot of Danny Jacobs, not in style in the ring or anything like that, but just how he conducts himself, how he talks, how he's respectful. Bruce Carrington, I'm hoping nothing but the best from him. First time I saw him fight live, he actually fought a Dominican. Yeah, to be fair, the guy was a journeyman. But the guy came to fight. The guy, kind of gave him trouble a little bit and landed some hard body shots and definitely pushed Bruce. But Shu Shu, to his credit, just ended up scoring a highlight reel type knockout. I was at that fight. I want to say that was at the undercard of Beterbiev Smith. I could be wrong if that was the undercard, but I want to say it was. And he looked impressive. I like what I've seen from him. Again, anybody who I interview, I'm interested in, or I'm high on, or I have something I want to talk to them about. And not only does he have an interesting story in terms of his life, and we'll get into that once he hops on. Again, I like his style in the ring. He's a fighter. I've seen him box. I've seen him score knockouts. At times I've seen him get a little too over aggressive and take shots I wish he wasn't taking, but then I've seen him box beautifully where he's not taking shots at all. So I've seen a lot from him. He's young. He's a ticket seller too, man. When I was at I want to say, no, it wasn't Beterbiev Smith. It was the Berlanga Steve Rose fight. I saw him on that undercard. And he sold a lot of tickets. I remember when they announced him, man, there was a good amount of people cheering. And he's what's his record? 7-0, 8-0. So he doesn't even have double-digit fights, and is already selling tickets. So I'm really excited to see how he grows and where his career goes from here. Yeah. The only problem is I don't have his number. We were communicating through Instagram. So like if you're not looking at your Instagram, you're not gonna see if you got the notification. So I sent him the invitation through Instagram, but and unfortunately I have no way of contacting him like directly, like his cell phone or anything like that, where I can be like, hey, just a quick reminder. But yeah. Well, anyways, until then, if anybody wants to call in, matter of fact, let me throw that link up. If anybody wants to call in, especially you, Big Fish, you want to hear how my man Mini Pac-Man smokes Collazo, we could do that. But anybody else who wants to call in, just chat while we wait until Shu Shu comes on. You're more than welcome to. The link is in the chat. Am I going live later? Most likely, yes. No, today's Tuesday. No, so no, I'm not going live later. I will be going live tomorrow. And tomorrow, thing is, I haven't confirmed the interview, so I'm not going to announce it. But there's an interview I might be having tomorrow, but I haven't confirmed it. So I might be going live tomorrow twice. Once, to do an interview, and once either to score a fight on the official scorecard, or to just talk about boxing, talk about Bivol Zurdo, which I was surprised a little bit of how Zurdo came out to fight. I felt like if Zurdo came out more aggressive, he would have given himself more of a chance to win the fight, considering his size. But I also think that would have increased the chances of him getting knocked out. And I actually do think he would have got knocked out. But he ended up losing the fight anyways. So you might as well fight the way, it gives you the best possibility of fighting. Big Fish Vega, what's going on, my brother?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, man?
No, man, just on the interstate, man. Just at work, man. Just helping you. Trying to help you bridge it to the interview, man. Shu Shu. Come on, man. Hop on.
Yeah. I should have got his number because we've only been communicating through Instagram. So I sent them the link, But you again, if you're not checking your phone, you're not gonna know you have a DM. So, but whatever, it's fine. This is not the first time it's happened to me. But either way,
I hear
you'll get
you.
me
It,
through.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. You guys know that I try my best to give top quality content and stuff like that. But what did you make of Zurdo Bivol?
Oof, man. I tell you what. I thought Bivol. Everyone says it doesn't seem like he has like a mean streak. Motherfucker looked mean to me. And that Zordito, man. You gotta call him Zordito because he fought like a little guy. Man, I
Yeah,
mean, I really enjoyed watching him let his hands go, pushing Zurdo back. I'm wondering, was Zurdo's plan to try to force what's his name, Bivol, into coming and he could land shots? It was a weird game plan, and Bivol was very impressive. He has a lot of consideration in being top 10 best top 10 fighter in the world right now.
no, I think he's already a top 10 top pound for pound fighter. And I do agree with you. It was a weird game plan from Zurdo. I've never seen him fight like that. He's usually more aggressive. And I don't know if it was just me. He looked as big as I ever seen him. He looked like a fucking
Mhm.
heavyweight in there against Bivol.
Mm.
And instead of using his size, to impose himself and wear Bivol down, make it an inside fight, lean on him and all that stuff, he resorted to boxing when that's Bivol's strong suit. Bivol is a boxer, so it's like I don't quite understand.
Yeah, it was very weird. Like you said, he's huge, and that's probably his only advantage against Bivol is his size. Bivol was coming forward, and he refused to meet him in the middle. He was taking steps back. He was trying to counter him to the body. And it just wasn't enough. And every time he did try to push forward, that man Bivol smacked him around like a little child. I felt like, I mean, seriously, just letting them hands go, and it was progressively. He was getting, he was landing more combinations as the fight went on. It was very impressive. It's really hard to see holes in Bivol's game right now. You would just say, somebody that's willing to stand their ground maybe has a better chance than what we've seen from Zurdo on Saturday.
I give Beterbiev a legit chance.
I mean, Beterbiev is probably one of the most physically strong light heavyweights we've maybe ever seen. One of
No,
them.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying, you said that
Yes.
you can't see who's gonna give him problems. I said, well, you can't see who's gonna beat him or give him a chance to beat him. I give Bivol a legit chance. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a better Beterbiev. And it's funny. I actually agree with you. I picked Bivol to beat him. I think his footwork and his jab is enough to keep Beterbiev off of him. And I know he
Mm-hmm.
hits hard. Whether he hasn't gotten the stoppages, I remember when he was on HBO smoking dudes, and that just doesn't leave you. That's still in you, and I feel like Beterbiev is gonna push the action enough where Bivol is gonna have to land shots to keep him off him, and he's gonna cut him up with that jab, straight rights. I would pick Bivol to win that fight.
No, Beterbiev is a monster. Like, there's no doubting that. I mean, come on, he's knocked out every single person. Like, not one dude has made it, to see 0-0-0 in round 12. But basically a little bit what you're saying. Yeah, I think Bivol's footwork, how he fights at different ranges and how he I don't want to say manipulate, but he controls the distance basically. He knows how he wants to fight at each distance. And you haven't seen anybody really break that rhythm. I think Craig Richards was probably the closest I've seen towards the end of that fight. And he had size and he had good length. Beterbiev doesn't have that. He has strength. And Beterbiev has explosion. So it's something maybe Bivol has not seen. So we definitely know Beterbiev has not seen anyone close to Bivol. Not that type of skills, that type of movement at all. I don't think. I think Marcus Brown had the ability to move, but he didn't move in that fight.
Yeah, few fighters have seen somebody with the movement of Bivol. Bivol is a fucking nasty dude. I love his footwork. I love his boxing ability. He's a good fighter. Um, as far as the fight matchup, also the longer this fight takes to make, the more it favors Bivol because Bivol's the younger fighter. I believe how Beterbiev is 38 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
37. Yeah.
37. So and by the time they fight, he
Yeah.
probably will be 38. Let's just say even if it's their next fight, or because
Hmm.
Beterbiev has to fight his mandatory in yard. So then it will have to be another set of negotiations. I'm not sure when his birthday is, but I'm sure by the time the fight gets negotiated, he'll be 38. Um, yeah, yeah, either way, that's a fight I want to see. That's a fight I want to see is between two undefeated fighters. I can't remember light heavyweight in the four belt era has never been undisputed, right? Yeah, I don't think so.
Not for belts, no.
No, no. The last guy who had a bunch of belts, but he didn't. He was missing the WBO was Roy Jones back in the early 2000s. If I'm not
Mm.
mistaken, he had the IBF, WBA, WBC, and then he had the IBO, but that doesn't count. And then the WBO was stuck in Germany with this dude.
Right, right. No, yeah, it'll be historical. I mean, come on. To face a Bivol right now. I mean, he got the Canelo win. Now he got the Abu Dhabi money. It seems right now is if I'm better be if I'm doing whatever I can to make sure I get this fight, I get this glory. I think anybody's gonna want to fight a Bivol right now. His name has never been. It's one of the hottest names in boxing, so it's definitely somebody you want to try to get mandatory status or to get him to want to fight you. And I wonder what Canelo's going to do. Is Canelo going to just say fuck the fight? Which I just don't see him beating Bivol. Bivol's all wrong for him. He's too big and too skilled.
Yeah, when he took the fight, when Canelo took that fight, I was so confused. That was one of the worst business decisions I've ever seen. So you taking on, in my opinion, the most dangerous fight he could have took at 175 and down was Bivol, even more so than Beterbiev. Because I feel like Beterbiev at least was going to come forward, and I'm not sure Canelo beats Beterbiev either, but I'm just saying Beterbiev was going to come forward. He's going to give you opportunities to hit him, and Canelo's a puncher. He could break somebody down, or he could land a good body shot, or something. He can do something. But with Bivol, I thought that was the most dangerous fight he could have took, 175 pounds and lower. And then, okay, he takes the fight against. Not only is this the most dangerous fight, it's probably the least profitable fight. Like, who the fuck is Bivol? When you could have took that PBC deal for, in my opinion, two easier fights in Benavidez and Charlo, and probably made the same, if not more money. And I would assume it's more money because those pay-per-views would have sold better. I don't know, man. Maybe the guarantee was higher on the zone. Maybe the guarantee was higher on the zone, and that's why that fight happened. But if I'm Canelo, man, just take that L and keep it moving, bro. You don't want no smoke with that, man. Yeah, that dude is dangerous, man. That dude, what's his name? Beterbiev is a dangerous man. Uh, damn, man, Bruce, man, come on, man. He gotta check his IG, man. I sent him that link. Let me see if I send it to him on Twitter. If I'm not, maybe that'll help. Maybe he's checking his Twitter as opposed to his IG. But yeah, man. But by the way, this is a prospect that I'm really high on. Damn, uh, I can't hit his DM. He don't follow me back on Twitter. Actually, that's what I'm talking about. Whatever. But yeah, getting back to Carrington, yo, this is a prospect I like, man. A prospect that is aggressive, has defense. I've seen him box. I've seen him bang before. He has an extensive amateur career. He actually, interesting about him, he was a 2016 Olympic alternate. And then he wanted to, instead of going pro, he waited out to the 2020 Olympics, ended up becoming an Olympian for the 2020 Olympics. No, he ended up qualifying, but they ended up using like the 2019 rank as opposed to the 2020 rankings, and that's why he didn't go. So he's an interesting situation. Hold on, I got Clev. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, that
Afternoon.
mustache gets me every time, bro.
That's good. That's good.
What's
Check it
going
real
on,
fast.
man? How's everything?
I'm good today, man. Took most of my day off of work, and I'm about to go vote, get that out the way, and get some dog food and stuff. But I just wanted to quickly come on, and because I heard you guys talking about Bivol.
Yeah.
I rewatched his fight last night with Zurdo. Man, that was pretty master class. Hold on, let me fucking
Honestly,
get
I thought I was in the minority. Well, to be fair, I thought Zurdo was gonna fight a different way. I thought
me
Zurdo was
too.
gonna be a lot
Me
more
too.
aggressive. So I had picked Bivol by knockout, and I was one of the few because who has Bivol knocked out? When was his last knockout? And I was like, okay, his last knockout was a minute ago, but I just don't think much of Zurdo. I thought Zurdo was gonna come in with that slow ass offense, sloppy ass punches, and I thought he was gonna get broken down by that jab and that straight right hand, but he decided to box and he played into Bivol's a hand. I scored an 8-4 for Bivol. I gave Zurdo 4 rounds.
Okay, that's a lot nicer than I am. I said 9-3, kind of 10-2-ish, but I'm not mad at the 8-4 because Zurdo did some nice stuff to kind of adjust when he did jab. But Bivol, like I said, it was pretty master class because I went back and watched it last night. And then about a week or so before that, I watched the Canelo Bivol. Very similar, but man, he was better than he was against Canelo, man. And what I noticed is that, did you notice that he kept it in the ring? I'm sorry, in the middle of the ring, talking about Bivol. No matter what, he kept that in the middle of the ring, and he pretty much brought it to Bivol. To Zurdo, because he kept pressure on him, like relentless pressure, man. Zurdo really had to, I'm sure, like the mental fortitude in that was getting on his nerves, man. And he went upstairs, downstairs, up, down, downstairs, just it was almost systematically like over 12 rounds, broke that dude down. And I love the right hands to the body he kept delivering to Zurdo. That's why he kept backing up. So
Yeah, I honestly with him, I just really love his footwork, man. I love his feet. He has some of the best footwork in boxing. Like I think he's on par with a Usyk and Loma when
sure,
it comes to that shit like that. His may not be as pretty, but it's definitely as effective, if not better. Like to me, I'm gonna say it, he has the best footwork in boxing. To me,
sure.
you look at his feet and how he positions himself. Although sometimes he results to leaning on the ropes, but I think that's just him giving his legs a break from all that movement. I
Mm-hmm.
really like the way he fights. I love his power jab. It's funny. Not that I had a, not that I had a boxing career, but when I used to box, I kind of fought a little bit like Bivol. Now, my footwork wasn't as sharp and as good, but my jab was kind of similar, where it was like a power jab, a consistent jab, and I like to keep the fighter at a distance. So maybe that's why I favor him, but I just love his footwork, man. And a lot of times I catch myself just watching his feet and how he positioned himself out of situation. There was a few times he was on the corner or on the ropes, and he would throw a couple punches and just quickly spin out. And I'm like, whoa, that's something that a casual fan, they just may watch. And that may be just something they just brushed over, like, oh, nice move. But not me. I'm like, damn, that was beautiful. It's like art.
Right.
Yeah,
I
man.
agree, man. I agree. And then quickly, when you guys were talking about the undisputed matchup with him and Beterbiev, man, truthfully, Broadway, that's a 50-50 fight. I think either guy is scared to come forward.
Yeah.
Um, and we all know what we can expect from Beterbiev, but man, Bivol is a freaking badass, man. I mean, he gonna be right there, and I think he's got enough power to keep Beterbiev off of him. He gonna come forward, and I like what you said with the footwork, because his effective aggression, when he comes forward, like I said, was right there, and of course he's got effective punching and good placement. So He's good, man. It's gonna be hard for me to choose a fighter of the year, but I'm not mad at anyone who points in his direction.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Very well
I
deserved.
want to say it's between 3 names, and he's definitely one of the 3 names that should be mentioned. I believe Bam Rodriguez, in my opinion, he should win it. But if you told me you had Bivol, I would disagree, but I wouldn't sit here and argue with you. Another guy that I feel should be mentioned is Hector Luis Garcia, who he scored a really, really big upset against Chris Colbert. Also, and then he goes on to straight up dominate the champion in Roger Gutierrez. So I definitely think he should be in a mention. I don't think he should win it. That's just me being honest, but I feel like those are the only 3 names really where we can make an argument that they could win the fighter of the year. And but before I let you go, before I hand over the mic to you, I just want to have bad news. Bruce Carrington just hit me up saying that his coach changed the time for his training last minute and that he will not be able to make the interview today. So, unfortunately, guys,
That's okay. That's okay.
yeah, he won't be coming on. He said he did say in his message that he would like to reschedule with me, and hopefully, we could do it at another time. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I was really looking forward to it. I did a lot of research, but again, we'll reschedule and we'll see when I could get him back on.
For sure. Yeah, I won't keep your time up. Yeah. And just on that, man, just these last 3 and 4 and 5 interviews you've been doing, man. Great content, man. You've been putting a lot of work, and it's going unnoticed, brother. It's going unnoticed. I love it. Keep it up.
I
I've actually funny shit though. Like I've actually enjoyed going way back when. I'm talking years ago, man. Almost what seems like 10 years ago for you, watching some of your old content. Like you did that Airbnb video, you did that Biggie and JP video. I was cracking up, bro.
Yeah, man. I knew I wanted to do the YouTube thing. I just couldn't figure out what exactly was my niche. And I tried a little bit of everything, man. I tried a little bit of the interviewing people in the street. I tried, doing reviews of Airbnbs and just a bunch of stuff. I tried. At one point, so I live in New York City, so there's a lot of famous people buried here, right? Like,
just walking around. Yeah.
No, I'm saying like in all these funeral, all these cemeteries, they'll have like super famous people buried. So I had an idea of me doing like a ton of research on a particular person, going to their gravesite and giving like a whole history lesson about them. And
I like that a lot.
I actually did 2 videos. I did one on Jackie Robinson, who's buried in Brooklyn, and one on Houdini, who's buried in Queens. I did the videos. I never released them though, because I was like, it wasn't something I genuinely enjoyed.
Please do, especially that Houdini, but especially that Jackie Robinson. I want to see that, brother.
I gotta see if I could find the video. But yeah, I was really on some like, I want to do this YouTube stuff. I'm not sure what. Then once I kind of figured out, once I got into the boxing lane, I was like, all right, this is me. But I just wasn't really gaining too much traction, but I was still at it because I was enjoying what I was doing with the boxing situation. And then once I interviewed Hector Luis Garcia, Ezra, Ezra from the Ezra podcast.
Shout out to him, baby.
Shout out to Ezra. He tweeted out like, wow, this is the voice of Dominican boxing. And I was like, yo, I like that. I think I'm going to take that nickname. And then ever since then, man, it's gone nothing but up, man. It's been a fun journey. It's been a real fun journey.
I know. Samson sought you out, bro. And I remember like what seems like, it's well over 15 months ago. You're like, I got something special. And I was like, what was he talking about? And then you pulled up at that big ass, like Joe Rogan looking ass table across the way with Samson, bro. I was like, dang. I was like, look at the bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Samson Lukowitz, who he has a lot of Dominican fighters signed under his promotional company, and for coming out to Brooklyn and giving me an interview, man. I was surprised he came out to BK, you know. And I told him, I was like, we could do a studio in Manhattan, like it's not a problem. And he was like, nah. Well, he goes, whatever's easier for you. I was like, well, it's easier if you come to Brooklyn. He's like, all right, I'll go to Brooklyn. And I was like, what? All right, cool. He came through to BK. I had him in the studio and I got his whole life story. So, which I feel is important to say, which is why a lot of my interviews, what I like to do is I try to gather their life story. I try to ask questions other people's don't ask. Like, for example, my Jason Rosario video, who unfortunately just lost. A lot of people, when they interview Jason Rosario, they just gonna ask him about his past fights and ask him about his upcoming fight. You watch my Jason Rosario interview, it's not like any other one. I got deep into his family. He told me how he used to have to walk 1.5 kilometers to a bus to go to school, and then once the bus dropped him off, he had to walk another kilometer to get to school and then back, and how he dropped out of school at 13, and how his mother moved away to Venezuela when he was 14, and he was living with a boxing trainer. Like you see what I'm saying? Like it's a different type of interview. I'm getting in depth with it, and I feel like my interview style is something that was missing in the boxing world. Like this kind of like documentation of a person's life story.
Yeah. Real quick, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man, reach out to Jason, man, when you get some time, and just, off wax, just, be talking and pray for him, man. I was doing a little research on him and got some questions answered about him. I just wish him the best, man. And then I saw over the weekend, that boxing scene article about him retiring and whatnot. To me, when I saw that, and then afterward, in hindsight, getting some information on him, yeah, that may be best, man, because it's not even about boxing, man. It's mental at this point. And also, I remember late last week, a friend brought it up to my attention because he had brought it. I was like, hey, man, like, what do you think about Jason? Like, he's taking shots to the body, and people think he can't take shots to the body. It's not that. It's he's not in fighting shape, bro. He can take punches. He can get knocked out, but he's just not in fighting shape. And that kind of leads to some other stuff, probably more so in his personal life. But anywho, just reach out to him, brother, man. For me, I would appreciate that. And just, I'm praying for him, man, and making sure he's in a good spot, because I saw a man when he did lose, mentally was defeated. Mentally. That was the look on his face. It wasn't that he couldn't take a punch. That was also mental, bro. That was like, I don't know if I can, handle all this right now, or handle this anymore. It wasn't that he can't take a punch. Those were fat camps, bro, because some of the things I've heard about him, I'm like, man, like,
yeah, I know. He spoke on the discipline issues in our interview. He spoke on it. And to be honest, I feel like that was my best interview. I'll be honest with you.
I like that. Thank you for saying that. I agree. Yeah. That's probably my favorite now that I think about it, besides Samson. But I think low key, Jason Rosario is probably my favorite interview, because he kind of reminds me of myself. He's a real honest guy.
Yeah, he kept it real. He talked about going out drinking. He talked about how he was partying with women and going into camp for the Charlo fight at 197 pounds, and going into the camp with Lubin at 203 pounds. And what pisses me off most about that is, man, I know people not gonna remember the fight, because I actually just recently saw the fight. That Charlo fight, he was having a lot of success, man. Those, with the exception of those knockdowns, he was pushing Charlo back. He was hurting him. He had Charlo in an uncomfortable position. So had he not blown up all that weight, had he stayed focused at the task at hand, and been motivated and been in shape, and never lost sight of the goal, I felt like he could have beat Charlo. He was really, really coming on, and had Charlo at a very uncomfortable position, because Charlo was never used to getting pressure like that, especially by the bigger man. I don't know. He to me, he fought a really good fight. He just couldn't take the punches. couldn't take the punches, got dropped 3 times and knocked out.
Those fat camps, bro. You said it. Those fat camps, man. That's yeesh. You know, when your body's going through so much different change, if you dropping all that weight and blowing back up, you know, it's almost like muscles, really. Like all that oxygen, you just can't fucking breathe, bro.
Damn, Jason, you couldn't wait to get undisciplined 4 or 5 fights later. Your next fight, the next fight after Julian Williams was the Charlo fight.
Right.
Like, bro, you got to know if that's your next fight, you got to stay in shape. You should have been in Vegas or in Florida or wherever you train at, staying in the gym hard, running in the sun and doing all that pull-ups and sit-ups and push-ups, hitting the bag, sparring, and staying in shape, staying close to weight. And then, all right, December's when I'm fighting, okay, and then cut down your weight properly. But
does he stay in the States, probably?
No? I don't believe so. Yeah, which may be a problem. Well, he's retired now, so he's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But
no, again, reach out to him and just let him know that American fans, we care about him, we love him, but I don't really care about the boxing. I just hope mentally and then disciplinary type stuff, like, because I'm going through the same shit. So just make sure he's prepared for that.
For sure, man. Yeah, man. Getting back to my interviewing style. I don't want to sound cocky, but I definitely be feeling like in the boxing world, nobody gives interviews like I do, man. Nobody gives. I'll be like, I'll be watching these other interviews. I'm like, they good, they ain't fucking with me. But then again, to be the best, you have to think like that. And I just wish the type of content I'm putting out was matching the type of subscribers I have. I feel like
it'll come. Don't worry about it. That's why I feel like real fast. That's why I talk my shit in the comments. Like, hey, like this, subscribe, tell a friend, tell some kin. My boys got it talking, and it'll come, brother. It'll come. You're already. I couldn't guess this.
I'm not being too impatient. I'm not like, damn, I'm just more like, really, I feel like I'm putting up enough work to have a little bit more subscribers and shit. Get a little bit more super chats. I was hoping to, but I guess I am being a little impatient, but I just got to put my head down, keep grinding, just grind.
Stay passionate about it. Stay very, very, that's all I could tell you, man. Like, now I'm kind of drifting back to the personal stuff. Like, man, I tell people all the time, like, if you don't have passion for it, like, hey, ain't nothing, no one can do it for you. So just stay passionate about it. Like you said, keep the head down, keep grinding, man.
I wish more boxers were in New York, because then I can have them in studio, so it'll give a better look of the interview for the consumer, as opposed to like this kind of like split screen fucking situation where it's like the person may be in a car, it may have bad service, it's like,
yeah, that's all right. I'm trying to encourage you, brother, but like,
no. I'm not. I'm just saying that one of those small things that I wish would be easy for me. Yeah,
it'll come though. It'll come. And like, I've already seen you take that plunge. You've gone to Vegas, you've gone here, you've gone there, you've gone to Florida to get things done. That's what it takes. And also, really enjoyed that Blair Cobbs. I was telling all my friends and family about that shit. I was like, I spoke to Blair Cobbs, ended my day talking to Samson. So he said some righteous stuff too, man.
You a Blair Cobbs fan?
Yeah, I like Blair. Blair.
No. I definitely like his personality. I think he's good for boxing in terms of his personality. He wants to fight. He wants to fight Virgil. He wants to fight Boots. Not many people calling those people out. So I definitely like the fact he's doing that. And now that I'm thinking, if Virgil doesn't get the Stanionis fight, which let's hope he does. They're both with Golden Boy. I don't see why Golden Boy wouldn't make that fight if that's the fight he's asking for.
Right. Let me just say this. Man, Golden Boy is such a tough spot, man. Like, what my eyes see is like, they don't fight anybody. They don't pay anybody to come to them. They don't.
Whoa. JoJo just fought Zepeda.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. Okay, take the Virgil and Stanley Ellis fight. That's not going to happen. Even if the WBA even sanction that.
Yeah.
Golden Boy don't fight nobody, bro. They don't fight. They just, I mean, nothing wrong. I'm not hating on standing in house. I'm just saying, like, big fights, they don't do. Just Golden Boy.
I mean, definitely what Jaime Munguia is a prime example of that. That dude don't fight nobody. Like, it's ridiculous.
Unfortunately,
it's ridiculous. I have no idea what they're trying to do with his career. They're ruining that kid's career, to be honest with you.
Do you think he's good though?
No, I don't think he's good. I'm being honest. I don't think he's good. I think he's like a B- fighter. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. B- out of a A to D ratings. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I mean, put it like my thing is he doesn't beat the top guys in the division. I don't think he beats Charlo. I don't know how much of Triple G's left, but let's just say Triple G does have enough left in the tank. I don't think he beats Triple G. And I don't think he beats Carlos Adames. Janibek, I have to see a little bit more about Janibek. Well,
me too.
Not even a little bit more. I have to see him against somebody I fucking actually know. Like, with the exception of Endom, who's a complete wash fighter, I haven't seen him with anybody that I know who he is. Oh, he fought Rob Brandt, right? He did, right? Yeah. So I knew Rob Brandt, but I want to see him a little bit more against fighters I know. He's fighting some UK guy now, Bentley, who again I never heard of. Like, so I don't know what to make of Janibek until Janibek fights a few guys that I'm familiar with. Like, he'll fight an Andrade or an Adames or Munguia or Triple G or Charlo.
He's trying though, Broadway. Like, that guy he has those guys' names in his mouth all day, every day. Especially
I'm not saying he's ducking. I'm just saying I can't make a proper assessment of how good he is until he actually fights somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. He's got a difficult style to deal with. It kind of reminds me of where Triple G was at so many years ago, where he's kind of like that rock'em sock'em in there, but he's really athletic enough and strong and will enough. So, like you, I agree. Like, I want to see more of him. I definitely want to see more. And on that note, man, I hope it seems like 160, 168 is, an upward trend in the green for me.
Those divisions are trash. Those two divisions you just mentioned, like, they have the top 2-3 names, maybe 4, are good, and they're not fighting each other. And then the rest is just trash.
Well, hang on now.
Plant Benavidez.
In March, April, that's what Samson told me. In March, April, that's when projected to get that over. So I've always said this. Like, look, like, I know in the past, just talking about PBC, they've been reluctant to move those weight classes, but it seems now, currently up to date, they're moving that. And
what I want to know is what Jamal is doing, man. That dude been out for how long? Yo, get in the ring, fight somebody.
Is it going on a year now? Yeah.
Let me check. I don't know, but it's been a minute.
Since
Montiel. I forgot Jamel got a twin.
Yeah, right. Since Montiel, of last 21. So yeah, damn, it is a year and some change.
Yo, man.
He did get injured though, and then I could really care less of all that out of the ring stuff. I don't even know that to be true.
Yeah, he hasn't fought since June. Damn, it's been over a year. He hasn't fought since June of last year. So it's been a year and 5 months.
Wow.
So that's 17 months. Meaning he hasn't fought in 17 months. So he would have to, like, negotiate, sign a fight, and then go into a 2-month training camp. So it's gonna be almost 2 years before he fights again.
You're right. Damn. Because June.
He's not gonna fight. He's not gonna fight this year. This year we got 1 month left. So this year's gone. So he's probably gonna fight February, March, April of next year. That's almost 2 years of.
What do you think about Jamal Charlo?
I think he's good, but he hasn't fought anybody at 160. At 154, he made noise, but at 160, he hasn't done much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair assessment. Fair assessment. I like Jamal a lot, man. Him and his twin brother. I like them a lot. But since we're talking about Jamal, you know, off top, I like that he's a champion, and I like that he's defended his belts as his two-weight champion. And that's just what champions do, man. Same thing. I could say the same about Janibek. He just got the belt, defend the belt, whoever they put you in front. Yes, I would like to see him mix it up. I like his fighting style. He's gotten, for me, he got better over like the last couple of years because the Ronnie Shields connection where, you know, he jabbing, feinting with his hooks, then come back with a jab, or vice versa. Double up the jab and come in with a good combination. He just seems to be always set up for power, you know, hence why he always steps back and does the uppercuts. But we shall see. We shall see. I hope his next fight, I really hope it's a dangerous man, you know, so
hey man, Adames is that WBC interim champion. Yo, let's go.
Right. I saw that live. Shot. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Carlos was talking that shit in that last interview. Yo, Carlos, I'm editing it up. I'm editing that that interview up to put it out in clips. Yo, he was talking his shit. He was talking shit to Munguia and Charlo. I'm like, damn, like my man really wants these big fights, and doesn't seem like anybody's taking him serious. It seems like everybody saw what he did against Montiel. Is like, you know what? Let me stay away from this guy. Like,
yeah. And okay, now that you say it, I hope Carlos Adames gets the nod. I want to see that.
I hope. And hopefully Jamal is on that Errol Spence no tune-up shit, you know, and just go straight for Adames. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. How old is Carlos Adames?
It's like 27, 28-ish.
Okay. Yeah, if he's interim, give him a shot. Defend your belt against that guy. No doubt.
Let me see what's his age. He is 28.
It's 28. Okay, prime. Yeah. Prime. Right now, he's fighting in his prime. Right on.
Yeah, and he beat the last two opponents that what's his name beat? Charlo. So
yes.
And he beat Montiel in much
fashion. In fashion. I saw that live. That was crazy. Like hit him.
Oh, you were at the fight?
Yes, I was. And I love that
man. How did he look in person?
Bro, I could hear his punches snapping back that dude's head. Montiel got beat before he even knew he was beat. He like hit him, then he was coming back. He was coming forward and got hit again. And he went down. I was like, dang. It was quick. Like it was pretty monstrous. It was pretty quick.
And it's so weird because that fight started off at such a slow pace. The fans were booing, and then out of nowhere, Adames just became such an explosive fighter, and boom, got him out of there. It was like, boom. It was just once he turned it on, he just dusted him out. Like, boop, easy work.
He hurt the man, so like, you know, and then once you do that, man, you let your hands go. Like, man, bad stuff happens. But real quick, because I haven't heard from some of you guys. What do you think about David Morrell? Aside from that, you know, the guy really, you know, he's fighting for his life now. But what did you think about David's performance?
Oh man, he looked sharp, man. Sharp as a knife, bro. I loved how he was doing like little slick movements and stuff like that, and how he ended it with swag, was dancing afterwards and doing all types of shit. Like I really liked what I seen. He's big, he can punch, he got defense. And it seems like he has a nice little hometown crowd in there in Minnesota. He's made Minnesota his home. I like it. I like him. I like to see more of him. I've never seen this guy, Ados. You know, I've never seen him before, but he was an undefeated fighter. People were telling me that he's a decent opponent, and he just, you know, he beat him up real bad, unfortunately, to the point where he had to be hospitalized. But he did his thing. I want to see more of Morrell for sure. What do you make of it?
Freaking yeah, tremendous. First off, tremendous performance. Congratulations to David. I was like you, very impressed because thinking back to the 2 fights before that, I heard Lefty say this a while ago. He said he's boring, and I said the same thing a little bit, but I'll tell you why. Not because I think he's like straight up boredom, but like he's a. I like what Ezra said too on the timeline, and I'm still from him. He's a strictly an inside fighter, and I watched that fight. Probably 8% footwork. I watch his feet probably 80% of the time, both their feet, because I want to see who's going to get in position to be able to do what. He reminded me a lot of Jamal Charlo. It's the Ronnie Shields connection where, like I said, he was feinting. He feint the hooks and then hit him with the power jab because he could do that with his power and he had faster hands, longer reach and whatnot. But he was doubling and tripling up his jab and then coming with the combinations. But it's that mid distance, between inside and outside. When he tried to come in or go out, he got lost. So for me, since I like it, the boxing game like that, I don't know if he could, when we compare him to the best, like a David Benavidez, like, nah, man, not
we'll see.
yet.
Well, I mean,
but let me finish real fast, probably. Like, hold on, my shit. You there? Kind of paused. Dang it.
Yep. I don't know that. That was
here.
on my end. That was on my end. I don't know what happened.
Okay. But I was saying, like, he gets a little lost in there, and I know he's, he was getting a little.
He doesn't have many pro fights though. He doesn't have many pro fights.
Right. And then I know, he was complaining to Tony Weeks and stuff about some dirty stuff, but like you said, like he needs more pro experience and like, hey, protect yourself at all times. That is first rule of this game. Protect yourself at all times because no one else is going to protect you, bro. You need to protect yourself at all times. So that was a little iffy for me right there. But I definitely saw where he was getting better because, like I said, I think the 2 fights before that, I was a little, I was kind of vacillating between boredom and like he needs more work. But he's very athletic, very strong, young. I love that. I was watching the pre-logs and epilogues. You should go watch those, man.
I'll check it out.
He chose Minneapolis because he wanted to learn English. He didn't want to go to the coast or anything like that and try to get all caught like that and, do what kind of the normalcy is there. But he wanted to go somewhere where like pretty much in the middle of the country.
I got to see if I get him on the channel. I got to see if
that would be great. Yeah, also, bro, is Morel, is that a Latino name?
Listen, man, like when Spain took over all these Latin American countries, they had people from other countries as well with them. So, like, I don't know if you watch baseball, but there was a Dominican baseball player named Fernando Rodney, George Bell, Jose Offerman. Like a lot of these dudes, like they'll have last names where it's American sounding or English sounding, to better said, just because some people from England did go to these countries, or some people from Jamaica or migrated in the 30s or in the 40s or 50s to some of these Latin American countries. So I'm not sure his reasoning for having that kind of a last name, but no, typically that's not a Latino last name. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna end the stream right now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get Bruce Shu Shu Carrington on. I will be rescheduling it with him. He did hit me up. He apologized. He says he wants to reschedule. So we'll do that, as well as I'll hit up David Morrell. You gave me an idea of who to interview next. I'll hit up David Morrell, see if he wants to give me an interview, and see what I can do there. Right.
Two more things before you get out of here. Two more things. Please, sir, do more Tano talks. I would love for you to do like a little just like history session and then see where the boxing can kind of come in. I enjoy those personally a lot. Because like as you give
Tano talks, what do you mean?
I said, when you do Tano talk, Taino.
Taino boxing talk. Yeah.
Excuse me. I enjoy those a lot. And then last thing I was gonna say, yeah, man, I love David, man. He's an exciting. He makes Cuban fighting. He's very exciting. Like he's super, super exciting. But with that, Peace and love, brother. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Be
For
well.
sure.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Again, I will be trying to reschedule the Shu Shu Carrington interview for another day. Until then, till next time. Peace.